let's get back to it. Right back, 328 people in the lobby. Shout out to you guys. We're going to get right back into what we're getting into. And let's go. Opportunity. We always talk about opportunity and what does opportunity mean? And I want to show you the bigger picture on this. There is an opportunity for the Cleveland Browns to do something special. Right now, a lot of people is not looking at the climate. And vibe with me and take a walk with me and let me show you where you can make you can make a plan, or you can see things lining up for you if you take advantage of an opportunity. Most times in your life, we know people. We know people who have ghosts. And what do you mean by ghosts? See, people in life don't realize that time waits for nobody. And my mom always told me, man, never be one to be a guy that is you use if I would have only done this, if I would have only listened to that person, if I would have only applied myself, if I would have only went harder, if I would have only had more discipline. Because life is like this. Let me just start going like this. I'm 41, cannot believe it. I can't believe I'm 41 years old. That time is still going like that. But what happens is you start to look back, and you may have one opportunity to do something in your life, great, and you just didn't answer the call. You may have one opportunity to be somewhere and to be with somebody, or to meet your soulmate, or to start your business, or to put extra 5 years on your life because you're healthy, but you missed your opportunity. And people miss their opportunities a lot of times is because they don't never expect them to come. They're so caught up in woe is me, and it never happens for anybody like me, or people who come from where I'm from, or I never thought highly enough that my expectations of myself was high enough that I would be able to do anything else but what I'm doing right now. And then when they do that, because they're looking down about how terrible they is or having an attitude, they miss the opportunity that go right over their head. And we all know somebody like that. They usually walk in the streets. They're usually a person, every time you start a conversation, they always wind the conversation back to themselves and talk about their glory days, or what they could have been if or if I would have never got caught up, or if I would have never went to jail, if I would have just took that scholarship, if I wasn't homesick. Put a one in the chat if you understand me. Maybe I'm just talking to myself. If you're a person that know a person like I'm going to explain, put a one in the chat. Maybe you one of those people. Maybe you live with the regrets of, man, I should have treated my first wife. She was a good woman, looked out for me, always had a good meal on the table, good woman, God-fearing, and I messed it up being out here in these streets. So it's all a learning issue. It's all a learning thing, right? Opportunity is something that you should look for, not run away from. And so when I look at the Cleveland Browns and we talk about opportunity, the one thing that everybody's trying to talk us out of is don't look at it like that. Just be happy if you get to the playoffs. Don't look at it like that. Don't get all gassed up. Just wait and see. And then when you get in the playoffs, be happy about it. I'm not going to look too further. That ain't how life is won. That's not how faith works. And you don't get no better by pretending that, yeah, I'll be happy when I get there. The journey is the part that counts. Don't y'all get it? There is no success without the journey. The journey is what gives you the experience. The work you put in and the faith you have in your teammates gives you positive experiences because you go out and play well. So opportunity for us, as you look around the NFL, realize this. The Jets were supposed to be so good, but calamity knocked at their door. Revamped the whole offense. Brought in a new receiving group. Whole team is tailored to Aaron Rodgers, and he's gone for the season. That was supposed to be some of your steepest competition, the Jets. Can I keep going? I'll keep going a little bit. You look out west. Justin Herbert and that group was supposed to be so good, so great, but it looks like they can't stop a cold. And they got a coach that don't know what they're doing. They giving up 40 points because they can't cover Tyreek Hill. At least they had a defensive end covering him. I'm not scared of them and their coach and what they're doing. And they collapse against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me ask you a question. Jaguars are supposed to be good, but I'm still young enough to remember they was 1-15 under Urban Meyer. Not too far removed. I like your pieces and parts. You ain't mentioned a defensive player yet. We ain't mentioned none of them. I like Christian Kirk. You got a lot of money, but you don't scare me. You saw what we did to T. Higgins. Can I keep going? Let me talk about the Kansas City Chiefs a little bit. The Kansas City Chiefs is great. See, sometimes you don't realize that you're sick until 2 days later. You know how it is. You be around somebody with the flu. You're like, I'm good. They get over their little flu and you straight. I don't even need nothing. You don't really start getting that little thing in the back of your throat till two days later. And it's the same way with Tyreek Hill. You didn't know you were sick. You won the Super Bowl. I'll congratulate you for that. But don't act like it's that easy to do it with a bunch of receivers that's 5'8" to 5'10", rookies, guys that you don't have much experience with. And now Travis Kelce, the best player you got, is 34, aging, woke up one day, he had a bone bruise, and he can't even put no weight on it. He might get back to what it is, but guess what? It's hard working your way back in there. Eric Bieniemy is not there. You'll see if you needed Eric Bieniemy. But at the end of the day, they don't look so scary. And we've already talked about the Cincinnati Bengals. We saw them up close and personal. Oh, by the way, the Ravens and J.K. Dobbins out. Not looking like they're so dominant on defense. OBJ, two catches, a couple yards. And another team in your division, which you played this week, coming up on Monday Night Football, they're without Hayward. They're without their number one receiver, Deontay Johnson. Their tight end looks like he might not play. And a quarterback that got beat to sleep, and I don't think that good. So what you saying to see? You say all that to say what, G. Bush? Opportunity knocks. In a year where everything was supposed to be so tight in the AFC is going to be the greatest thing smoking. Starts off kind of pedestrian. It's an opportunity to go into Pittsburgh, beat them, and now be 2-0 in the division. You should be thinking about home field advantage, not just playoffs. I repeat, you should be thinking about home field advantage, not just playoffs. You should be thinking about home field advantage, not just playoffs. Because there's two things that translate to cold winter games, and I would like people to experience it coming up here to the north, where our dire wolves and where your dragons don't work up here. All them fastballs. Listen, you know what travels? That running game and that defense. And that's what they should be thinking about. Not how many yards Deshaun Watson is throwing for. Running game, defense translates. And I'm telling you what, we match up really good with anybody in AFC at this moment. I'm not scared of nothing. By the way, did you see how terrible Josh Allen looked? People, it's our first game, knee jerk, the captain knee jerk in his Kool-Aid game. Listen, I've seen quarterbacks like that. I played on teams with quarterback like that. And his hero ball and his Nerf turbo throwing footballs up in the air with his eyes closed. This guy's in the middle of the field jumping over people for no reason. What are you doing? The ball snaps, it hits you in the face, then you drop it again. 4 turnovers against a Jets team that just lost Aaron Rodgers and everybody in the world looked like they was dead 5 seconds ago. And that's the team I'm scared of. Psych. Nah. I don't think so. I don't think so. Let me get to this real quick. Shout out to our Patreon. Shout out to the Patreon group. Want to let you know about what's going over. I do so many different things. The Patreon group, I do another group of videos, another group of content for those who want to support me in the barbershop. We would like to thank our Patreon members, and we thank them every single video that we do because they're a very important part of who I am and how I move. MVP tier, Greg Smith, all-star tier, Amari Spence, and as well as Robert Norman Sr. Starting lineup tier, Amari Spence, Bradley Thomas Bruns, Gail Mayo, Spencer Mahone, Aaron, Brandon, Russell, Timothy, Anthony G, and Howard. Thank you guys so much for becoming members on Patreon. Those guys get personalized birthday shout outs. Those guys over there get free gear. Those guys over on Patreon get exclusive content. I drop content every 1 or 2 days, just different, that is not on UCSS or the barbershop anywhere else. I do it just for those folks, and we want to say thank you guys for being a part of our Patreon. And I also do want to say, if you don't want to be part of Patreon and you can't do super chats, we get it. Inflation is crazy. We all working hard. The best thing you could do for me, just hit the like button. Hit the like button. You hit the like button, subscribe button, and that does a lot to get our content and my content specifically out to the masses. And that is why the barbershop has the most diverse group of people watching, because we watch all the way around the world. All the way around the world. Now let's get to this. I wasn't going to cheat you. Got about 13 minutes left. I want to thank everybody for hanging around for the whole entire hour. And let's go with this. Now, this is the way you can catch that merchandise. Remember what I said. This is the way you can catch the merchandise. Email me at gbush91.com with the subject line Go Browns before 12 a.m. September 14th. So that's tonight. Before 12 a.m. tonight, you will be entering into a random drawing for a complimentary t-shirt. Guess what? You guys, it's a lucky day. We're not giving away just the Browns or the Panda. You know what I'm saying? That's all good and dandy. But the hottest thing moving right now is the Kool-Aid t-shirts. So let me tell you right now, if you've already submitted this before, don't worry. Your name automatically goes in the pot again to be picked. All you need is one submission. So if you submitted one last week, you're fine. If you happen to win, you're obviously you can't win twice. So you're not going to be in the drawing. But if you've already done that, don't worry. Your name's in the hat. For those who haven't done it and they're new to the channel right now, just email me, just in the subject line, gbush91@hotmail.com, and put in the subject line, Go Browns. I will notify everyone tonight by midnight. I'm going to put it out. I'll notify you and then we'll say who won on Monday before we go live as well. Who are the winners? So once again, these are winners that won before. Jamison Meyer, Derek Downtown Dansby. There'll be 2 more winners. 1 winner for Monday and 1 member for today. So send those emails out to me. And we're doing the Kool-Aid shirt today. Kool-Aid shirt. You either get a black one or a blue one. Kool-Aid shirt. The hoodie is not included. Can't get a hoodie. We're going to give you a shirt, though. Give you the shirt. And that is all courtesy of the company, a.k.a. G. Bush himself, in the barbershop.